Well, next match coming up is between Scotland and Portugal, playing in the plate quarter-final. Well, Scotland were totally outplayed yesterday in their final pool game by 41 points to nil. So South Africa against South Africa, but can take heart from two hard-fought wins over Japan and Russia. Scotland give a start to Struan Dewar winning the number 3 jersey. Christine is also Sean Brightly winning the number 6 jersey. And Andrew Turnbull, well, he's Scotland's top point scorer. And Portugal, though, well, they slipped up against Hong Kong by 14 points to 17. But as an indication to their quality, they dispatched Argentina by 17 points to 10. Duarte Moreira has already scored 4 tries in the tournament so far. Gonçalo Foro is also an excellent forward. Pedro Leal wearing the number 4 jersey. He's their wee playmaker. As the teams enter the arena, this Luzhniki Stadium. What about this for a shot? Well, we don't quite have the full capacity today. There's over 89,000 seats out there in this stadium, and we're a wee bit short of that. But stay with us for all the action here. And there, Andrew Turnbull. He is 4th on the best performance all time, having scored 16 tries behind Brian Lima on 17, Waisale Serevi on 19, and Vanumaka from Fiji on 23 tries. Federico Anselmi is your whistler in the middle.
You talked about the crowd, Scott. It didn't matter yesterday because it slowly built. The Russians got into it. They started to make a lot of noise. The stadium really is beautiful.
It's looking fantastic out there. And Pedro Leal, well, they call him Popcorn. He's their playmaker. Excellent little player. And these two teams, a lot to play for. An early take for Struan Dewar, but adjudged to be a knock-on.
Butte kick from Leal there. It was perfectly weighted. And the chase was good, and that is basically why the Scottish team knocked it on. There's a lot of pressure from those chasers.
Well, these two teams have actually played against each other throughout the Sevens World Series 5 times. Scotland have won 4 of them, but lost out in Hong Kong by 27 points to 21. So I reckon it will be a very, very tight game between these two competitive teams. Pedro Betancourt takes ball into contact, but Scotland penalised for not releasing in the tackle. Here he is, the little Diego Miranda. And Miranda on to Francisco Vieira de la Mira. A wide pass, wasn't forward. And here's Duarte Moreira, well tackled by Andrew Turnbull on the far side, but he didn't let go of the ball. And Colin Gregor then skips up over the 22-metre line. Riddle through the hands. And this is Dean. Dean backing himself. Christine, the youngster for Scotland, up over the halfway line. Riddle through to Colin Gregor. Colin Gregor, who scored more points than any other Scotsman. Turnbull, the flying machine. This is Jim Thompson. Thompson, who now plays for the London Scottish club. Brought back into the Sevens arena. Christine escapes the tackle now. He's got the sweeper to beat 2-on-1. Excellent play, an inside pass to Colin Gregor. And Gregor will be in under the post for the opening try for Scotland.
Patient play from Scotland there. They had a number of passes. They went to the far side of the field, then came back, and in the end it was just a little missed tackle on Christine. Got the half break, and then he got the ball to this guy here, Colin Gregor. So there's the half break. The chaser can't get near Dean. It was a lovely draw and pass, and straight under the posts.
Well, these are the skills, Melody, that these teams exercise on the training field time and time again, but the brutality of the game is the missed tackle. One missed tackle, the support runner's in place, and Colin Gregor converts his own try. Here he is. So Scotland out into an early lead, 7 points to 0. Scotland won the plate competition in Dubai 4 years ago. Playing the player in the air. And Leal, interesting enough, opted to go for territory. Now that's an interesting tactic. Yes, they'll get the throw in at the line out, but they'll play the ball from the 22-metre line.
Well, they back their line out, obviously. So they're going to have to throw it straight, accurately, get the timing right. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. Perfect.
On the angle there was Pedro Betancourt. There's Gonçalo Foro, there's that hard-working forward, tackled by Stewart, recycled possession now. The play through the centre. Pedro Leal tries to go into secure ball. Wrapped up Pedro Betancourt, all a little bit scrappy at the moment, but Scotland will set that defensive line. Look at the jerseys come up, try and hit that defensive line. Turnbull on Morera. Kick over the top. Now Colin Gregor. Will he win the chase? Gregor for Scotland wins the chase, but an offside against Scotland will still keep the possession to Portugal.
Yeah, restart here for Portugal. That was messy attack in comparison to when Scotland's had the ball. You've seen a really good pattern emerge. So they just have to sort out what they're doing, communicate to each other, Portugal.
Leal just takes his time. He's playing in his third Rugby World Cup. Also played in the 2007 Rugby World Cup. In 15s, loose pass again. Unlike Portugal, Diego Miranda mops up. Miranda with the overhead pass and that reaches the hands of Duerto Moreira. Now Moreira tackled once again by Turnbull. His defence has been better in this tournament. Well, Lucas Scragg by Scott Riddell. And the player not releasing the ball in the contact area, rightly penalised by referee Federico Anselmi.
Yep, he's a bit of a fend, but he couldn't get rid of the player. And right there, that's where he didn't let the defensive players from Scotland have a crack at the ball. Once you're on the deck, you've got to let it go.
Scotland played some good rugby in the opening two ties. They beat Japan by 19 points to 7. Russia by 21 points to 5. Came unstuck last night against South Africa, who completely dominated things by 41-0. And Portugal, well, they're attacking here from a Scotland error, an overthrow on the line out. And it's mistakes like that could cost Scotland dear. Leal goes for the little chip kick. Colin Shaw goes back to rescue the situation. And now Thompson. Thompson to Riddell, but Turnbull had overrun his colleague. And interesting, Colin Gregor previously on the penalty kick for touch. I wonder if he'll do the same again.
Yeah, I think they want to get out from behind their 22. And they certainly want some possession in a good position. Because in the last couple of minutes, it's been all Portugal, although I have to say that Portugal got to get their go forward.
Well, I don't know if you realise, but Colin Gregor there was very aware of the fact that there was only seconds left on the clock. Looked up at the giant scoreboard here. Well, that's another poor throw. Judged forward, so an error there from the Scotland skipper. Hands the advantage to Portugal with no time left on the clock, so one last attack here in the first half for Portugal. Now, can they level the scores? Leal has experience of playing rugby in Brive and Nice. There's over 40 RRB tournaments. Referee Anselmi not happy with the set of that scrum. Use Colin Shaw on the right. Colin Shaw, one of the most experienced players, won a gold medal on the 125th anniversary of the Melrose Sevens. That's where the game of rugby sevens was invented in the Scottish borders. Well, Scott Riddell not releasing the player in the tackle.
That's right, that was Colin Gregor. Initially put on some really good pressure at the back of that scrum. When he tackled, he's got to roll away.
And you'll notice once again, all the play goes through that man there, Pedro Leal. Great experience for Portugal. Now out wide, Betancourt gets his pass out the wide, but Turnbull's been good on the tackle once again. Duarte Moreira. Pick up by Thompson. Thompson fancies a crack at the length. And Jim Thompson, the beneficiary from the Portuguese error, dots down over the line, and Scotland will take great heart at the end of the first half, going into the lead by 12 points to 0 with the conversion to come.
Portugal, they did some good work out there. Had a bit of a hole out wide and then just lost the ball on the ground, and this was just opportunist from Jim Thompson. Plus, he's got plenty of speed, put the burners on. So Scotland will be quite comfortable going into the break.
Well, these two last played against each other, these two teams, in Glasgow on the IRB 7 circuit, when Scotland won by 26 points to 5, so they're heading in that direction. But second half to come in this quarter-final. It's Scotland into the early half-time lead. Scotland 12, Portugal 0.
So the breakaway try from Jim Thompson there takes the Scots out to a 12-point lead at half-time, but it's a tight-fought thing. Of course, both of these sides have just regained core nation status for the coming year on the World Sevens Series, so they're both enjoying the relaxed, I guess, and slightly less pressure that comes with that. They know that their future is secured, at least for now. They can turn their attention, fully focus in on this World Cup in Moscow. And we know how tight that the Portuguese pushed the English yesterday. They are a quality outfit, but we're pretty well placed to discuss the Scottish side with the boss of London Scottish here, Simon Amon. As we listen into these, or have a look in with these huddles, what have you made of that first half, and do you think 12 points is enough clear for them?
Well, the next score is absolutely critical. I think the way this game will go at the moment, that's the confidence. Scotland get that first score, take themselves out to a 17-point, 19-point. That'll be the game done and dusted. Been very pleased with the way Scotland defending as a unit, really working so hard for each other, and they haven't really been missing any tackles, which is, obviously makes it very difficult for Portugal to score. Portugal need to retain possession and keep probing and working the Scotland side to get some points on the board.
Ollie, we often talk about what is a winning lead in sevens, and of course 2 tries rarely is that. It's such a fast game, things can turn so quickly. Is it 3 scores that you generally feel safe early in the second half?
Yeah, typically we always used to focus around the 21-point margin, so if you can get yourself 21 points ahead, that's pretty difficult. At this level now and how competitive teams are, I'm not sure that even that's now maybe sort of 24 round, but Scotland is certainly building on that where they are. They're going to be pleased with their performance. I think they actually did quite well, over the last 2 days in this World Cup. They came up against a South African side in their group who were on fire and playing extremely well, and they got put to the sword. Yeah. But prior to that, they put Russia and Japan away relatively easily. And Scotty Gemmell will be happy with how they are and how they've responded from a heavy defeat against the South African side at the close of day 2. And if they can go into this game now, score off this restart, build on that momentum, they'll take a lot of confidence into it.
The man who we saw run away, and just on screen there, Jim Thompson, is a fairly recent addition, certainly from the Sevens World Series onto this. You know him well as a member of the London Scottish Club. Good guy, good player.
Yeah, a great guy, but a very talented, skillful player as well. Wonderful passing game, great understanding and game sense, and he's an important cog in this Scotland Sevens team.
Looks to have slipped into the shorter form of the game comfortably as we head back to the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow with Melody Robinson and Scott Hastings.
Portugal. So Portugal have the opportunity to come back into this tie.
They do. But for some reason, they just need more aggression, more attitude when they do get possession. And one of the other keys to sevens is on defence. You basically attack the team with the ball. So that's at the breakdown. It's when you're pushing up everything.
Well, next tie is really crucial. The speedster. This Turnbull. And Turnbull, well, it was a judge knocked on from Christine. And somehow they've got to try and release this guy. He is a real threat on the International Sevens Series circuit. He scored 126 tries in his IRB career. And as you can see there, he's the 4th all-time try scorer. Dean couldn't quite get that pass out. Adjudged forward.
Yeah, risky pass that. The Sunny Bill, we call it. After watching players like Sonny Bill Williams and some of the athletes we see at this Rugby World Cup, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds wanting to do that pass left, right and centre.
Oh, good scrum by Scotland to disrupt Portuguese ball. But Portugal have gathered. Overhead pop pass by Jose Vareta, wearing the number 10 jersey. Now, this is Duarte Moreira. This is the gentleman I was talking about who scored 3 tries in the last win that Portugal had against Scotland out in Hong Kong. Turnbull in with a tackle. This is recycled possession now. Scotland just trying to pin Portugal down in their own 22. Francisco Almeida into the contact here. Dewar goes in with a tackle. Riddell, the hard-working Scots forward, also making a tackle. Thompson comes across and forces the error from Vareta, so turnover possession for Scotland. This is Thompson. Christine, well tackled, gets it back to Thompson. Here's Turnbull. Turnbull with a big, great pickup and pass. Now look at the way the Scots have used the space. Gregor decides, enough of that, I'm going to put boot to ball. But Leal's back there. A great footballing skills from the Portuguese. So quite a passage of play here, testing the fitness of the players. The temperatures out there around the 25, 26 degree mark centigrade. Not as hot as yesterday. It was touching the mercury at 32 yesterday.
Yeah, they can save themselves a lot of pain, a lot of energy, if they can get their patterns sorted out and more organised. At the moment, they're all just playing what's in front of them.
Yeah, and almost the next score is crucial for either team. One try gets Portugal back in. 3 minutes 40 on the clock for Scotland, and you think the next score just pulls them away towards that semi-final. Scott Riddell from the Stuart's Melville Club.
See him heaving.
Let me check the number.
Again, once again, Leal with the throw-in. Taken there by Federico Oliveira, who's coming off the bench. Also, Federico Aradireto Estevez. You can always recognise him. We'll point you out in a second. Play then, Oliveira, hard running forward, up to the Portuguese 10-yard line. Held once again in the tackle. This tie very much still in the balance. Portugal passing forward, across the halfway line. Turnbull comes in with the attempted tackle. Ball switched back inside. Estevez then. Now overlap here, Oliveira. Well, he mistimed his pass. The fluency not quite there for this Portuguese team. Defence has been good for Scotland, but the long hanging kick, which way will it bounce? Well, it's bounced towards Colin Gregor, and Colin Gregor puts the boot in it. Well, I would have thought that Gregor might have held on to the possession, but all the players working extremely hard here. This is Gonçalo Foro. Foro with a switch inside pass. Now Estevez. Well, it's a forward pass by Estevez, and the players' fitness really been tested. Scott Riddell, we saw previously at the line-out trying to catch the oxygen. This time, the effort going in for the Scotsman, and he made the tackle. Well, you can see he just got his head in the wrong way, didn't he? But he forced the error from Estevez.
Yeah, he should have actually run to his player there. There's no way he was going to pass it that far and at that angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Gemma Scott, the physio, will get Scott Riddell, I'm sure, back up on his feet.
When fatigue hits, then mistakes come. Oh, see, look, he tackled on the wrong side. When you're tackling, it's got to be cheek to cheek. His head was on the front side, and that is always going to mean a whole lot of pain.
So I think Michael Maltman has replaced him. In fact, it's Robertson. Mark Robertson has a go down the side. This could be the tie for Scotland. And there's the attitude of Mark Robertson, this tall, rangy, long-striding sevens player. And Scotland can heave a sigh of relief thanks to that man there.
Well, it was individual brilliance, a nice little fend. And Robertson, because he's fresh legs, he's come off the bench. He's got a bit more energy. He knew it, and he went for it.
Well, the form book has been kind to Scotland. 5 times this season, they've won 4 times over Portugal, and that will give the Scottish team great heart. Colin Gregor with the additional 2 points. Bit wobbly, hasn't found its target. So it's all about just using the clock, eating down the time, substitutes all on, tie has been won. And Jim Thompson with 30 seconds on the clock.
And Scotland winning this game, interestingly, without the ball. Portugal, 58 passes completed to Scotland's 23. So good defence from the Scots.
Thompson, the left footer. The grandson of the voice of rugby, Bill McLaren. So Scotland quite happy, just playing the clock and winding it down there in no hurry. But Portugal, well, they've offered stiff resistance. But they haven't quite had their fluency there. And it'll be Portugal. Well, they re-qualified in Twickenham as part of the core team, so the next time we'll see Portugal is out on the Gold Coast. The final whistle blows from Frederico Anselmi. Scotland will progress into the semi-finals. Hard fought. A try by Robertson, a try by Thompson, and a converted try by Colin Gregor sees them home by 17 points to 0.